today let's talk about markets, because we have some kind of, I would say, strength in the market. But yeah, let's talk about markets and news and what could we expect in the coming days. Is the recession over or not? Actually, is the recession even started? But yeah, so basically, first of all, I would like to talk about basically Trump, the policy, tariff policy adjustments. Basically, Trump reports indicate that President Trump may narrow the scope of upcoming tariffs in the April the 2nd in sectors such as semiconductors or automobiles, and yeah, this has led to a positive reaction in the stock market, as we can see, for example, in US 500 or in Nasdaq markets. We see some kind of support or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, we had a drop since the all-time highs. We had a drop 10%, and at the moment it's just a healthy correction. This all because it's something the same as this, and yeah, that's very bullish news that Trump wants to narrow the scope of upcoming tariffs. We'll see what happens really on April the 2nd. Trump's agenda, basically concerning the tax overhaul. Basically, we have House versus Senate tensions. And it now raises significant concerns over potential abuse of power and privacy right violation. And then speaking about the technicals, for me, market starts to show something. As you know, I need for market on technical side to show me some kind of strength that market wants to keep going. And wants to sort a trend, and I'm defining it by MBs or pullbacks, or call it what you want. But yeah, for example, I like to trade in these conditions or these conditions. For example, I haven't taken a trade since these points in the market, on US market. So at this point now, market starts to show some kind of bullishness, some kind of strength that comes into the market. And if it, for example, market opens in 1 hour, US market, and if it continues to rally and closes somewhere around these EMAs and validates this context MB, then I'll probably tomorrow keep on watching US market to potential entries. And as we know, Trump now narrows the scope of upcoming tariffs. That also is a bullish news. We could potentially have push. Of course, we need to wait for probably 2nd March to see really if market will continue and what will be the outcome of the tariffs in the and how market will react to them. Then I would consider that's a strength. And actually, the same thing goes for cryptos. They also start to show some kind of strength. If it continues and it validates the MB, then I'll probably start looking for entries next week, and actually this week. We'll see how this daily candle closes. So, and also on cryptos we have huge buy side potential, and yeah, so but at the same time, it's just the technicals, and they can change in one candle. Let's say this candle doesn't validate for me the MB and starts to drop down, then there's nothing to do, and market will probably keep on dropping by reacting to tariffs and etc. So yeah, technicals can always change in one candle. The same thing goes for any other crypto. So yeah, if it shows strength, then that's good. And at the moment, it shows some kind of strength. It's better than we have had since these points. Once we started to make MBs, so we finally have some kind of strength to the bullish side, and still want to see EMAs to cross and the market to reject out of them and keep on going. And yeah, in one of the videos I said that if market starts to recover and starts to build something inside there which I'm considering a strength, then we will see how market react to the tariffs, and if it reacts positively on tariffs, then we will have some kind of strength and start to look for entries to keep on going higher. But yeah, so at the moment still too early, but looks nice. For For long-term perspective, this is a good price to buy because we have huge drop on US stock market. We wiped out, I don't know how much, I didn't remember, like few trillion dollars from the all-time highs, and that's a huge discount on any stock. We can go to stocks, let's say Nvidia. Nvidia has dropped from $170 to 120, and that's a 30% drop. So this is a good time to buy and look for opportunities. Of course, not a financial advice, but still it is a good opportunity to buy and look for entries on all these big stocks that will probably keep on running the all-time highs. We have had a good correction, and yeah, but of course at the same time always remember, cheap can always get cheaper. If Meta is cheap at $600, respectively looking at it, its all-time high was $741, so it is cheap for $600 a stock, but cheap can always get cheaper before it starts to recover. So yeah, that's why I'm waiting for strength in the market, and only then I'm risking my money in the market. And yeah, for example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was cheap once we had the 2021 drop, the bearish market. Bitcoin was cheap. Basically, we had 70k all-time high. Bitcoin was cheap at 53k. Bitcoin was cheap at 42k, but it kept dropping. And Bitcoin was cheap at 40, at 26, and Bitcoin was still cheap at 17k. But it kept on dropping, and only when it started to show some kind of strength that it really wants to push, it really wants to go higher by making the MBs or strength or structure or whatever you want to call it, then and only then we started to move higher. Because market always before it starts to trend, some kind of strength to the bullish side or even on bearish side, a market always builds up its momentum. So yeah, at the moment we are at the start of the potential bullish run, but we'll see. Again, technicals can easily change in one candle, and that's why I'm following multiple time frames, analyzing multiple time frames: context time frame, validation time frame, and entry time frame. And if all of them are in the same direction and EMA shows strength, everything shows strength, I am willing to risk my money on trades. For example, that's why I have been trading fucking Hong Kong index, because it shows strength. I haven't traded US market for some time, for a month or even more. Why? Because US market doesn't show me any kind of strength at the moment. That's why I took entries. For example, few entries I took last week on this market, where it was, for example, Hong Kong index. I took an entries here and here, and unfortunately here it was a loss. But yeah, these two worked out perfectly, and yeah, so I want to involve myself into the market only when there is some kind of strength. And yeah, hopefully Trump doesn't invade Greenland or whatever he wants to do, and everything stabilizes and the market starts to recover. And yeah, and we have good potential upside, huge potential upside for market to keep running the all-time highs. So yeah, that's it for today, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.